Okay, let's talk about the Phillies from Philadelphia. 85.5 is the over-under for the Philadelphia Phillies. If you like the Phillies to win the National League East, 4-1, 9-1 to win the World Series, and away we go. Led, of course, by Bryce Harper. Rhys Hoskins, I'll tell you what, last year we thought maybe Rhys Hoskins would win the National League home run title. And he just got off. He just was awful last year. Hoskins, nice play. I kind of like Hoskins a little bit. I would certainly take him on my team to rebound, without a doubt. Hoskins, I think, will come up with about a 240 batting average, 25 to 30 home runs. It's no secret. He didn't have to play left field. He didn't have to carry the Philly offense. But at age 26, you thought he might move forward. Instead, he took a step back. Okay, he hit 226 last year. Okay, the year before he hit 246, 34 home runs. So he's going to hit around 30 home runs that you could take. But he had such a bad stretch last year that it was just awful. So I think a better performance this year, hitting 240, something like that, around 30 home runs, 90 RBIs. Not bad for a player that people think just really doesn't have it. They're not giving him the same. Gene Segura, on the other hand, you know exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get your steals. You're going to get some decent production out of him. Now, Didi, at shortstop, they only have 3 lefty hitters in that lineup, if you don't include Jay Bruce, Harper, Adam Haseley, and Didi Gregorius. So what do I expect out of Didi? I never thought Didi, and I followed him since he played, since he was with the Diamondbacks. I kind of liked him then, while I choke on something, but that's okay, because as long as I get this done, that's all that matters. 250, 20-something home runs, maybe 5 stolen bases. So look, and I got to tell you, 97 home runs that he's hit in his career, 54 came as a Yankee, 54 at home. Okay, so he really took advantage of the left-handed park at Yankee Stadium. Philadelphia, a nice stadium to hit in as well. DD will hit about 250, give you 20-plus home runs, and no surprises there. Scott Kingery. Here we go. Another one of my favorites. And they say, I got to take a drink here. It's okay. They say that Kingery is going to play third base and not move around that much. And normally that will give a player a little peace of mind, will allow a player to concentrate on one position, not being moved around. I would say for Scott Kingery this year, we're talking about like a 260, 270 hitter, 15 to 18 home runs, 15 to 20 stolen bases. This is another excellent sleeper pick. Scott Kingery not being touted on very much by anybody this year, so go the extra $1 and look for Scott Kingery. Outfield-wise, Andrew McCutchen could be a tremendous player if he's healthy. He's got to be healthy. He'll get Jay Bruce will give him some. Will take some at bats against the right-handed pitchers, but Jay Bruce, Adam Haseley is the guy. That's a guy we all know about. Jay Bruce. What am I going to tell you about Andrew McCutchen? If I got to tell you about Andrew McCutchen, then I don't know what you're doing here, buying the draft guide, okay? Because you know Andrew McCutchen, just like everybody else does. But what do we know of this is why a lot of these things, everybody takes the position that we're going to talk about everybody, and nobody knows nothing. Right? If you don't know Andrew McCutchen by now, but who knows Adam Haseley? I'm going to tell you, this kid's capable of hitting 275 to 280, around the 10 home run mark and the 5 stolen base mark. They expect Haseley to be the team's regular center fielder, the 8th overall pick in 2017. He actually made his debut a little early in June, and they lost Odubel Herrera. They lost Andrew McCutchen. So when you take a look at Haseley's 266, 5 homers, keep in mind, left-handed hitter, he wasn't even ready to come up yet. okay? And he stayed on the roster for most of the season, starting at all three outfield positions. Hit 266, 5 homers and 4 steals in only 67 games. So accelerated his time. Look, he was only projected as a league average hitter, above average contact, below average power. But he could still be an everyday starter with some consistency. It's not going to make a major difference on your fantasy team, but for an NL only, he could be a pretty good pick. That's Hasley. You want me to tell you about Bryce Harper? Yeah, he's pretty good. JT Realmuto, you're not buying a draft guide to learn about Bryce Harper. Tell you that right now, okay? I'm not insulting anybody. JT Realmuto, same thing. His arbitration hearing is tremendous because arbitration is about comps. There's nobody to compare him to. It's really pretty interesting. But JT is what he is. The pitching staff, I am taking that position that Aaron Nola is going to be a bounce back pitcher. Zach Wheeler is going to make the jump to be Garrett Cole, but not that good. He's going to be the pitcher who's going to jump the most in Major League Baseball. Zach Wheeler. That's my opinion. They are taking Zach Wheeler, and they are changing his pitch mix. Sound familiar? That's what they did to Garrett Cole in Houston. They changed his pitch mix, and it made a tremendous amount of difference. Jake Arrieta, nobody knows how good Arrieta is going to be. We all know who he is. The same thing with Zach Eflin. Vince Velasquez, I say it every year. He's one of the pitchers that when I saw him the first time, I really, really got excited. And as Andy has mentioned so many times, he's got such an arsenal that he doesn't know how to deal with it. A good pitching coach, somebody who can settle him into his own zone. There's going to be a year where you wish you had Vince Velasquez. I don't know if it's going to be this year, but I would certainly not avoid Vince Velasquez in my reserve round or the end of the draft between Nola, Wheeler, Arrieta, Eflin, Nick Pivetta, and Velasquez. You got 6 potential starters there. Hector Neris will be the closer. Not a bad pick, kind of expected. But he's the guy. They also have Bud Norris, Francisco Liriano. Who else do they got? All these guys. And Drew Storen, I think, signed with the team as well. As far as prospects are concerned, some of the guys that you might be seeing somewhere during the year, Spencer Howard, future number 2 starter. He's got a devastating changeup that I did see in the Arizona Fall League. So keep an eye on Devin Howard, who pitched in Double-A last year. He was a second-round pick, okay? So he's going. I saw him in Arizona. He jumped all the way to Double-A with a minimal performance lag. He got a plus changeup. He's got a palm ball. Alex Bohm. Well, he's very impressive when you look at him. He's a big boy. He's about the 6'5", 225. Almost looks too big for third base, where you got to bend over. Could wind up moving over to first base. He was the 3rd pick in the 2018 MLB draft. He went to Wichita State. But look, I don't know if he's good because he looks so good or he is so good. He did struggle in 40 games between a couple of levels last year when he was drafted. But still, this is a kid. His numbers dropped in Double-A, okay? But he hit to about 270 with 14 homers, massive power, okay? So he's got another year to go. Don't expect to see him this year. When I saw him in the Arizona Fall League, I'm saying, all right, this kid's a player. Where he's going to play, could be first base, could be third base. He's going to hit you 30 home runs, no question about it. And I just like the way he carried himself, like the way he hustled, really gave it his all. So I'm a fan, okay? And I say 30 home runs. When it's going to happen, maybe next year. But you can certainly take this guy now in a dynasty league, or if you're in a keeper league and you want to keep him for $1 for next year, that's a good strategy sometimes. Be my guest if you're allowed to do it. Philadelphia Phillies, 85.5 over under. 4-1 to win the National League East and 9-1 to win the World Series.